Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of December 23rd, 2018. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing week it is. Well, before we've even started this week, for a whole lot of us, it was actually late last week that we had a full moon. Now, this full moon took place in the sign of Cancer. And part of what made this full moon special is that it took place at the very beginning of its sign. Now, full moons ordinarily represent culmination. They represent completion, and a completion that results as a result of facing the truth about a given moment, a given situation, or a given feeling. And it is in the light of the full moon, as we look at the truth of what it is that we really feel, a situation transforms notably. However, this full moon took place at the very beginning of its sign, what astrologers call 0 degrees. So it's basically as if the moon had just stepped into this brand new sign, this brand new area of the sky, and reached full moon. And so along with this sense of fruition, there's also inherent with it a pureness and a sense of beginning as well. Now, we may not necessarily know where to go with it. It's a lot more about just being and being present. The sign of Cancer has to do with family. And this is a time when all over the world, in most of the world's religions, it tends to be the month of December, particularly the last 2 weeks of December, that major holidays or some reminder of the sacred takes place, and some reminder to spend time with people who care about you, and especially family, right? Connect with your family. This tends to be a universal theme right around this time. Now, I was meditating on this, like, why is this? And I was thinking that I think part of the reason is that much of the world spends this time in the northern hemisphere, and this is the winter solstice time frame, right around the 21st is the winter solstice, and this tends to be what we call the shortest day of the year, or the day when the night is longest. And there's a sense at this time of, on the one hand, an ending, but also a beginning. There's a sense of renewal, but it has to do with what it is that we are letting go. And so in mythologies around the world, we see this idea of a death and then a rebirth. And the rebirth is normally the fact that the sun will now grow stronger and stronger from this point forward. And so I was thinking about, why is this connected to family? And I think it's because it is our bloodlines, right? At least this is how I think the ancients would have thought of it on some level. It is our bloodlines that in some way make us immortal. There is this philosophical thought that part of the reason that we are drawn to other people, part of the reason that we seek to connect with others, is that we believe on some very deep level that we will procreate with them. And if we procreate with them, we will have a child. And if we have a child, it means that some part of us never really dies. So it is ultimately the fear of being obliterated. Now, this is a pessimistic way of looking at relationships, but it is the fear of being obliterated that encourages us to pursue these connections, because ultimately what we really want is children, and because ultimately once we have children, something will live past our own lives, and some part of us will be here, will be immortal even. So it's that search to be immortal that leads us to that primary feeling of attraction. Now, I know that could be a little deep if you think about it, but look, a lot of philosophers have discussed this, so I wish I had a citation right about now. But I remember, this is an academic thing. There are philosophers who have discussed this. And so there's a well-established tradition of this line of thought. But what reminds us of this as well is the winter solstice, is this idea that we can in some way end but not really end, and be born again, or something lives on, or just when it feels like it's ended, it's actually not an end, but there's a brand new beginning as a result. And I think that it is that ultimate connection to family that reminds us of some of these eternal connections, or at the very least, what may be left behind. Now, I'm not talking about this on a conscious level, okay? I know that we are modern people, we are enlightened beings. I don't have children either, so a lot of us don't. A lot of us do, which is great. So the human race steams forward, keeps going on. But I mean this on a very deep, primal, unconscious level. This is one way that some people have thought and articulated how our unconscious psyche, our primal drive, may actually be motivated, may actually work. You might have your own theories about this, and I would love to read them in the comments below. But having said that, yes, I think that's why we spend time with our families right about now. It tends to be a tradition in many places around the world to get together with family right around the winter solstice, even if they aren't celebrating the winter solstice, quote unquote. Whatever holiday it is and whatever spiritual tradition it is, in some way there is a gathering taking place. And I think that's also because we recognize that it is in the love that we give, the relationships that we have with others, the care that we show to others, that ends up being our legacy as well. It ends up being how it is that we are thought of long after we are gone. And it is in being thought of that we live on. And so I remember Jeffrey Cornelius, one of my professors, he once said that the gods need us to remember them in order to still be alive. And so the gods, meaning the planets, okay, that's one way to understand them, the ancient gods, they exist because we acknowledge them. And as we acknowledge them, their presence and their energy continues to be known in the world. Now, in modern times and in modern psychology, we call this archetypes, right? It's this archetypal part of us. Venus is that part of us that wants love, that wants to know we're worthy, that wants to attract. And so that is still there. You can understand this articulation in that way, or you can understand it a little bit more literally, whatever it is that appeals to you. But it is in these moments that we are reminded of what it is that is immortal, especially at a time like this. So now you add this element of a full moon in the sign of family. And it's a full moon, as I said, at 0 degrees. At the very beginning, it has a certain pureness to it. It has a certain heightened emotion to it, but it's not necessarily that it's being triggered by anything else. After all, this full moon is essentially unaspected. So it's not like there's something outside of it that's causing a certain emotional reaction. It is whole and complete in and of itself. And so ultimately, I see this as a reminder to consider who your family is and to consider spending time with them. It is a time to be nostalgic. I do think that there are people right about now, as we are at the very beginning of the week, feeling a sense of nostalgia and looking back at their past and considering the emotions that they had, what was satisfied, what was fulfilled, and the love, right? The love that they felt, the comfort, the safety, the security. And so where it is in your own life, whether it's with others or on your own, but I will say this, I remember having this realization. It's funny, just before I started recording, I was just thinking about this. Anytime I take a big trip, right? Anytime I'm like embarking on a big trip, I know that it is because on a soul level, I need to understand something, some realization. Every journey is sort of part and parcel with this sense of awakening of some part of me. And I remember a year and a half ago when I went to Asia, that was really a life-changing trip for me. And I kept recording these weekly videos. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I kept doing these videos. It was a lot of fun to share that with you guys every step of the way. But my big epiphany, my big realization was that others can do what they need to do. I will be okay. Like, I have something within me, whatever that may be, that I can trust to know that I will be okay, that if I want to, I can find happiness, and that there is love in the world. And what I mean by that is, no matter where you go in the world, there are people who want to share their lives with others. There are countless support groups. There are countless meetups. There are all kinds of ways to connect with other people. No matter how small your town, no matter how big it is, how anonymous you feel, somewhere you can find community. And if you can find community, you can find people who want to share with you and who want to know you. It really is that simple. I'm not talking about romantic love. That is its own discussion, and we'll talk about that in a moment when we start talking about Venus doing some wonderful things this week. I'm talking about connection with other human beings. I'm talking about connecting to our human family, because at the end of the day, we are all family right here, right now. We buy into these false things that separate us from each other. Sometimes it's external, having to do with the shell, the body, the skin that we're in. Sometimes it's something that we hold dear, that we use to hold ourselves up. But at the end of the day, regardless of what you think you've achieved or what you think you've earned or whatever, we are all equal. And so much of our lives is based on opportunity. That really is it. So much of what we become is because of what was made possible to us, not necessarily based on something that we earned or something that we merited. So given that we are all a human family, we have a natural desire to connect with each other and to be present with each other in some way. It is healing to be with another person and to know that you are heard, or to know that you are accepted, or to just know that in this moment, in this time, you don't have to be alone. Like, you don't have to walk alone up this sidewalk if you don't want to. You don't have to have this coffee alone if you don't want to. There are countless ways of connecting with others, even if it is just for a moment, even if it is just going to a meetup and spending an hour with a bunch of strangers. That is love. That is being with your human family. And that is an opportunity to give and to receive love. And so the realization I had while I was, gallivanting through Asia I love, I must say, I absolutely love. Hi to all Asian friends and fans out there. But the one thing that I realized was that there is this love out there in the world, and this is my human family, and that I will be okay because I have my human family. I will have countless opportunities to connect with people in new ways, to learn about other people, to learn about myself, to understand what it means to be kind to others, to allow others to be kind to me, to need help at times, and to accept that help, how much it gives not only me, but that person who's giving me that help. So these were part of the revelations that I had during that trip. And I was thinking about that while preparing for this video and considering the light of this full moon. Wherever you are right now, whether it's a physical place, whether it's a place within your spirit, wherever you are in terms of your relationship with other people or your relationship with your family of origin, regardless, there is family available to you with just a little bit of willingness. Really, and the willingness means like to leave your home. The willingness means to, if someone's walking, you look them in the eye, or you smile, or you say hi. If you live in a big city, you might not want to do that. But if you live in a big city, there are lots of things going on. I can guarantee you, lots of places where you can connect with other people, community centers, meetups, self-help groups, 12-step groups, self-improvement groups. There's so much out there that if it is that you have a desire to connect with family during this full moon in Cancer, at 0 degrees of Cancer, family is there for you. regardless of your relationship with your family of origin. Now, having said that, some of us actually do have good relationships with our family of origin, and this is a really good time to connect. You might have a good relationship, but don't keep in touch as much. This is a good time to keep in touch. This is a good time to send a literal hug or a virtual hug, or even to just share a moment, share some memories. These things can end up being tremendously valuable to you. But yes, of course, to the people with whom you share it with as well. This full moon in Cancer is reminding us to connect with what we need to feel comfortable. Comfortable with ourselves, within our own body, within our own skin. And sometimes that means food. This is a Cancer full moon after all. And so break out the comfort food, whatever that is for you, okay? Or you can decide that you will use this energy in other ways. However, you could use this energy in a few different ways. You can have the meal and get together with other people. You can eat well, eat the macaroni and cheese, and phone call to your dad, or connect with people at the community center. Whatever that may be for you, whatever it is that you need to feel at ease with yourself, because there is a perfection within you right now and with you right now. And that perfection is assured because you exist. The fact that you exist, your life is exactly what it is that it needs to be, regardless of how you judge it and what you think should be different, or how you think things should improve, or some goal that you have or some vision that you have of how it is that you should be better or you could be better. The truth is that right now, as you are a divine expression of love and wisdom. As you are fully embodying love and wisdom to the best of your ability in this moment right now. And so I'm sharing this because, yes, we are entering this week with the energy of the full moon. So yes, connect with family. And if you need to redefine family, do that. And if it means just cooking something that you used to eat when you were a little kid, do that as well. Cooking something that has a familiar feel within your body, you can do that. Or if there were certain things you really liked to do as a child that helped you to feel safe, do that as well. At the same time, it is going to be Christmas that we have some very interesting energy playing out. Now, this is Christmas Day, give or take a day on either side, depending on where you are on the planet. But essentially, the first half of the week, we are feeling this energy. On the one hand, it is Mercury leaving shadow. Now, ordinarily, Mercury leaving shadow means the whole Mercury retrograde season is good and over. It tends to bring with it a burst of clarity and a sense of forward momentum. However, what is different this time is that as Mercury leaves shadow, we'll reach out and speak with Neptune. And this is a conversation of some tension. But it is a conversation where we may not be feeling very grounded, and we may not be seeing things as optimistically as we deserve to. It is going to be Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius. The sign of Sagittarius is very much about the universal, the world family, knowing that the world is small and connecting with others and loving it, you know, enjoying the love where you are, wherever you lay your hat is your home. That is such a Sagittarius song. And then we have this Neptune connection. And Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, slowly but surely moving through the sign of Pisces well into the next decade. And this is an energy that is not very grounded. It's not very practical. It can be very compassionate, certainly, but it can also be kind of deceiving, especially when it's a conversation like this. So if you find yourself repeating certain things in your mind that are not empowering, if you find yourself perceiving things that are not loving or don't empower you or don't make you feel strong or don't make you feel good or don't make you feel loved, don't allow you to acknowledge that you are loved exactly as you are right now, well, that is when you want to stop. and see it for what it is. It is a moment, nothing more. This is just a little dip, and some people may feel it a little more strongly than others, but this is a time where we are going to feel a little bit like we've just dived into a Mercury retrograde, like it just goes wonky. However, a brief moment it may be, it just feels like it goes to that space and then it comes back out on the other side. And so be mindful of your communication. Be mindful that how you're perceiving things or the information that you're getting may not necessarily be accurate as well. That you may need a little bit of time to clarify. You may be understood differently than you had intended. Keep in mind also that this can be a time when it feels like, on the one hand, you feel like you know what you know for sure, or you know what you believe, and you know the philosophies and the politics that guide your life, and then maybe you don't. And so there's a certain fluidity with this energy as well. So the important thing is to remember what matters. And what matters is the sacred truth of you. The sacred truth that is the expression of love and wisdom that you are. And so it's important to be mindful, not to believe any lies about yourself, first and foremost. We're going to have to watch this as a collective as well, and in our environments as well. Sometimes people don't mean to give us inaccurate information. It just happens, but sometimes it's intentional that we get information that is not accurate. So as much as possible, as much as you can, allow people space. Be generous with that. And don't hold people to necessarily what they are saying or the promises that they are making. And if they're telling you something and you know that it isn't necessarily correct, you can let it slide if you want, right? Because it probably isn't a big deal, truth be told. And it can also be that people may not necessarily be honest because they're saving face in some way or not wanting to admit their vulnerabilities in some way as well. And so you don't need to call them on it if it doesn't resonate or if it doesn't feel right. And that's probably a more compassionate way to go. Because this energy does ask us to be compassionate, but the thing is we have to be compassionate with ourselves as well. It is when we come from a place of self-compassion and self-awareness that we're able to give that much more kindness to others, and it comes from a place of honesty. And what comes from a place of honesty can't be faked. It is felt, it is known, it is obvious. Now, as we get towards the later part of the week, it is in the second half of the week that we have what I'm calling the Venus reward. This is a big reward moment for Venus. Now, think back, the better part of the last 4 months, we've had Venus retrograde season. That is over now, thankfully, that's good and over. But we've had Venus retrograde season. For some people, it was more difficult than it might have been for others. The thing that happens with Venus retrograde season is the guiding question is, do I love it? And just when you think you know the answer, you realize maybe you don't. And it can make certain connections or situations more challenging than they might otherwise be. This particular Venus retrograde season had "surprise a minute" written all over it. Had so many shocks and twists and turns at certain moments. And then just when we thought we were grounded and stable and secure, and we knew what was going on, and we knew the foundation to which our love stood, we realize, oh, here's this other factor. Oh, this is who you really are. Oh, this is who I really am. This is what has brought me to this moment, brought me to this situation. And in some cases, it can feel enlivening, but in other cases, it felt perhaps not so much so, a little jarring for some people. Well, now here we are, and it is going to be in the second half of the week that Venus will reach out in harmony to Pluto. And this is the reward for the work that took place over the last 4 months. This is where the power, the transformation, and being a force of change in your life, feeling the pull of fate, and knowing that as a result of a moment, you are now different. It isn't just about the moment, it's just that the moment made you realize that you are different and that you are better as a result of your experiences over the course of this most recent Venus retrograde season. Venus is moving through the sign of Scorpio, speaking with Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio. And so there's a lot of very intense, very sexy, very lust energy in the air. There's also a sense here of the taboo and being open to it, being willing to go in that direction. And ultimately what this is the allowing ourselves to consider options where we had not allowed ourselves to consider them before. But this is also truth, like the truth of what has guided our hearts in every area of life. Yes, in our romantic life, certainly, but in our financial life, in our quest towards greater self-acceptance and self-love. So where is it now that you're ready to take an empowered self-evaluation? And it's the kind of awareness, it's the kind of check within yourself that changes things, that changes your energy, and ultimately prepares you for more, for greater love than you've known before, greater prosperity than you've known before, greater happiness and greater peace with yourself than you knew before. At the end of the day, the one thing that I have come to realize more than anything is that the only thing that really matters in life is being at peace with yourself, being at peace with yourself, and making your choices from that place where possible. There is nothing that compares. There is nothing that comes close. If you are in the kind of space where you don't really know what that looks like or know what that feels like, or you feel like you're not really in that space of being at peace, don't worry about it. It will find you. I would say that what you could do though is relax, like relax and let it find you, and seek what is comfortable to you, because it is in comfort that you will find emotional equilibrium. And from a space of emotional balance or greater emotional balance, you'll start to be able to recognize what is mind, what is ego, and what is truth. And what is truth is love. Really, it's love. Love and wisdom, of course, that permeate everyone and everything. It is love and wisdom that encourages us to continue to move forward, that encourages us to continue to explore and to explore ourselves and what our own unique contribution could be. It is by the time we get to the end of the week that all of us will be given our own set of keys to our most powerful transformation. And the thing that transforms more than anything is our heart and our definition of love. And in that transformation, we come to realize that truly there is so much love. There is more than enough love for us all. Well, thank you so much for watching. What are you excited about this week? I would love to read your comments below. Let me know right here on YouTube in the comments below. I love reading you guys so much. And yes, what are you excited about this week? How is your full moon going as we're starting the week? I wanted to dive in there because, as you know, last week it was a little bit of a different story. I wasn't able to dive in as much as I like to. And so now I did. So let me know, how's your full moon going as well? If you'd like to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you and your sign, log on to nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. Thank you for your patience with me last week. You know, I was under the weather, as we say, especially in Cancun, where the weather is just so beautiful, so high. I was under the weather. Having said that, I'm not 100% just yet. I do feel, you know, a lot of people commented, take care of yourself. After I made that video and the videos for last week, I was thinking, that was really dumb, Nadia. Like, you needed rest. You needed to be in bed. You should not have been making videos, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I was able to connect with you guys. So now I'm getting better. And I'm really excited about that. It is going to be this week, by the end of this week, that I will have 2019 special horoscopes videos ready on my website and in the Superstar space. And so if you'd like to be one of the first to know when those videos are ready, whether you want to purchase it as an individual download or you want to watch it in the Superstar space, sign up to my newsletter. Go to the homepage on my website, scroll down, sign up to my newsletter. A newsletter notification will go out the moment that those are posted on my website and in the Superstar space. And I hope that you absolutely love them. It is going to be a busy week, so I have been taking extra care of myself because there's a lot going on. Yes, the 2019 video scopes. Also, on the 28th, which is Friday, I believe, at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is many different time zones all over the world, I will be doing an online class with CIA, with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. They will be hosting my talk. It will be on the nodes in astrology, and we're going to be looking at a few different things. One is we're looking at, yes, the nodes in terms of your chart, but I'm going to try to focus more, and we'll be dedicating time to looking at the nodes in their brand new signs of Cancer and of Capricorn. So we'll be diving into that and talking about that. It's going to be a fun and lively class. It's interactive. It's entirely online. So I would love for you guys to join me there. Check out the description below. You can see the link. You can click on the link and you can sign up directly through the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. And I look forward to meeting you there online. Also, I have a couple of talks coming up in the immediacy. Las Vegas on the 29th of January, Mexico on the 2nd of February. The 29th of January is like right around my birthday. I'm going to be in Las Vegas for my solar return. I'm very, very excited about that. I tell you, I am so excited about it. I can't wait to connect with friends and fans out there. And I'm being hosted by the NCGR Stargazers. And the link is in the description. I look forward to meeting you there. It's an evening talk. Again, fun, lively. It's going to be fast-paced. Karma and love is what we're looking at. And then I'm going to rush back and be a special guest at a transformative week hosted by Maurice Fernandez, world-renowned evolutionary astrologer. He's holding a transformative retreat, astrological retreat here in Mexico. And I will be there on February 2nd. And again, links are below in the description. Heads up, in May, Seattle and Vancouver. Labor Day weekend, Baltimore. So lots of live events coming up. I also want to let you know about my friend Katie Weber. She's amazing. I started out as her fan. Now I'm her friend. I always get her success pack, always. Her success pack is based on Feng Shui. And so she has written this whole packet of information. It's a step-by-step guide to help you to align your home with the sky for the upcoming year of the pig in 2019. So the Feng Shui New Year and the Chinese New Year doesn't actually start until early February. So there is a little bit of time, but I'm always one of the first people to buy this. Like, her work has been such a force in my life. She's just opened up this whole other love and this whole other way of understanding my environment and understanding myself. I can never thank her enough for the impact that she's had in my life and in my personal practices and in my studies in Feng Shui as well. I absolutely love Feng Shui, and that's thanks to her. And so if you want to check out what her work is about, link in the description. We have a dedicated link just for friends, fans, and superstars. And if you've checked out Katie Weber before, let me know in the comments how you benefited from aligning home, aligning space with sky, and how that was able to manifest for you. I'll tell you, this is how amazing Katie is. There have been times over the last 2 years, actually, that something will be going on in my life. And I'll reach out to her. I'll be like, Katie, this is going on. What do I do? And she'll reply back and say, this must be happening in your home. This must be happening in your environment. Or she'll say, yes, the new moon happened and this star went here. So this is why this is showing up for you. It means that you didn't do this in this part of your home, or it means that this part of your home doesn't have enough light. Like literally as simple as that. And she will nail it. I don't even have to tell her. She will nail it. I'll say, this is going on. She'll say, this is what's happening in your home right now. This is what you need to do. And it's always, her advice is always connected to the success pack. Like if I go back to the success pack and the monthly, like she sends out these monthly notices every month telling you like about how what she calls flying stars, or what are called flying stars in Feng Shui. She sends out these notices, the flying stars in Feng Shui, and she tells you in these notices every month, you know, this is what you want to adjust in your home in this corner. Like I said, add more light, add a little metal here, and this is why, and this is how we align and we become more conscious of our space. And in doing this, I'll tell her this is going on. And when she would say to me like, yes, this is why, and this flying star or whatever, I realized that it's in the success pack. It's in the notices that she sends out. Like she's just basically reminding me without saying, Nadiya, did you read your success pack? She never says that to me. But that's basically what she's doing, is that when I go back and I look at the notices and I look at the success pack, I realize that I didn't incorporate the advice that she had put in, and now the situation has manifested. And so it is in paying attention to Feng Shui that I've been able to become so much more aware of myself and my space and the energy that I bring, and having an awareness of the energy of a space as well, and how to make it a sacred space no matter where I am or where I go. So when I tell you that, you know, her work has had a huge impact in my life, I don't say that lightly. And really, she is so full of knowledge. There's a reason that she's world renowned. And so if you want to check out the success pack, you can do that. If you want to just go on her website, Red Lotus Letter, she has free programs as well that you can sign up for, like the 28 Days to Prosperity. You could do that as well, as long as in some way you are learning about what she's doing, incorporating that. I think that it's a start. And as you see yourself grow more aware, you will see the outcomes change in your life as well. So really is phenomenal, her work. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Okay, so you can check out the link below. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience, your kindness, your well wishes. Like I said, I'm getting better, and I'm really looking forward to sharing. And I do believe that all things happen in perfect timing. Lots of synchronicities around this, of course. Tons of synchronicities happened thanks to this event of my voice. And this time, it's like I got the lesson, right? 2 years ago, I lost my voice for a month. I couldn't talk properly for like 3 months. It was hard to talk properly. And this time I'm talking. Look, it's only been a week and I'm like, I'm here. I'm able to have a conversation with you. And that's pretty phenomenal to me. That is an indication that I'm picking up on my lessons quicker than I did before. And that's really exciting to me personally as well, but also that I get to continue sharing with you. I know that it is a privilege to have this opportunity to share your sacred journey in some way. And it means so much to me. This last week, just a few days ago, December 18th, I celebrated 10 years on YouTube. 10 years on YouTube. Isn't that incredible? 10 years on YouTube. I had no idea where this journey was going to take me. I just wanted to share. Like really, that was it. I just felt like I had something I wanted to share, and I was terrified. I tell you, I was terrified. I think you can see it in my face in my first videos. But I am so glad and so grateful for this medium that is YouTube, and the incredible journey that I've gone on with you and because of you through this medium of YouTube. And I thank you. Thank you so much for an amazing 10 years, and here's to the next 10. And I hope that you absolutely enjoyed this last full week of 2018. Well, thank you again for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.